Good morning. Happy Saturday morning. Welcome. So I'm here for Asheville Community Yoga, and thank you so much for joining me this morning for Sweet Saturday Morning Flow. This is a level 1 flow that we are going to move through this morning in a way where there's more of a focus for the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And it would be a good idea at home if you have a strap. If you don't have a strap, just grab a towel, a t-shirt, whatever you have. So, but we're going to be doing lots of shoulder openers this morning. So, and interlacing the hands behind the back. So for those of us that have a little, that might not be available to us, having something, it's going to be very helpful for you. And this morning, we're going to use a mantra through our sun salutations. And this mantra is, it's a very simple but very potent mantra that many of you may have heard before. It's Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. I'll say it one more time, and if you're at home, just say it with me. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. So this particular mantra, the translation for it in a very just simple way is, may all beings be happy. May all beings know peace. May all beings be loved and free of suffering. And may my actions contribute to that. Sometimes I even like to add, as you are welcome to add as well, if something's coming up for you of what you hope all beings will have. Like for me, I think of clean air, I think of clean water, I think of equality. So all of these things that we can pull into our practice this morning, just to make it more potent as a way that we're not just moving through the physicality part of the asana, but we're bringing more devotion into the practice. And that just makes it sweeter. So let's take a nice comfortable seat. So find any position for you that works in your body. And we'll drop in just for about 5 breaths together. So you can sit back on the heels as I am. You could take a block and place it up underneath the pelvic floor. If you don't have a block at home, find be creative. You could pull a chair up if you have a chair that's manageable for you, or rolled up blanket or rolled up towel. And then let's let the backs of the hands rest on the inner knees or the thighs. Feel the tailbone anchor down. Feel a nice elongation through the spine, all the way up to the crown of the head. So it's very important that we establish a nice foundation before we start breathing and moving, just a way that we feel grounded. And take a full big breath in together. And exhale, release. Do 3 more just like that. Pulling the breath in without straining or struggling. Just feel it coming nice and full all the way up to the collarbones, like it's expanding all the way to the outer shoulders. And 3 more just like that. And as you inhale, just feel the breath spread its way out through the body. Remember that prana follows the breath. So as we breathe in, and the more fullness that we can bring into the breath, the more of that vital energy we pull into the body. And coming into the last one. The next inhalation, let's pull the hands together at the heart. Let the thumbs rest right at the center of the chest. Let the elbows splay out a little bit. And as you push the heels of your hands and finger pads together, just feel the collarbones start to receive this, just spreading open. The upper back has a little activation to it. Sides of the neck, nice and soft. Jaw relaxes. Bringing our hands into this particular mudra as a way of just calling to that particular mantra. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And don't forget about yourself when you're repeating this mantra. We can think of today as we're on our mats as a way that we're replenishing and fortifying ourselves so that as we're here in this isolation together in our homes, it's a way that we acknowledge and recognize that by staying in and tending to and taking care of ourselves, that we're being a part of, hopefully, seeing this virus start to fade away. And bowing the forehead into the hands. Just a way to seal your intention this morning. And then releasing the hands down. All right, and we're going to come up to standing, and we're going to start with a pretty powerful breath. So I want you to find your way into your Tadasana. Your feet can be a little wider than your hips. And you just want to start rocking back and forth a little bit on the heels and onto the balls of the feet, just to find the steadiness here. You can bring a little bend into your knees, or your legs can be really strong and just really firm, as long as you're not hyperextending through the backs of the knees. So, like I said, we're activating the upper body a little bit more this morning. No worries though, we're always going to get into the hips and the legs. So the way that this breath works, and you're going to find your own pace. So the inhalation, the arms are going to spread out nice and wide, really reaching out through the wrists, the joints of the fingers. So from the side, I'll show you. So you want to try to have the shoulder blades come down the back, have the tail anchoring down, low belly in, and just finding your way here. So the inhale, the arms open, the chest can come a little forward, so it turns a little bit into what we might think of as cow pose. So this is the inhale, and then the exhale, the chin pulls in and the pelvis slightly tucks. Right, so you'll inhale and exhale. Inhale. The knees might bend a little bit more as you exhale. Right? So maybe your rhythm is like this morning. Inhaling, exhaling, or in, out, in, out, in, out. We're just going to repeat this. So of course, anytime if you feel lightheaded, if you feel like your temperature is elevating too quickly, just slow it down. You could even pull Ujjayi breath into it if you're familiar with Ujjayi. And some of you a little bit more advanced in your practice this morning, you might even want to pull a little bit of breath of fire in. So just showing you several examples. And yes, the arms are starting to feel a little fatigued possibly. Keep the neck soft, keep the jaw soft. 3, 2, 1. Arms open, reach arms up overhead. And like you're moving through water, as you exhale, slowly pull your arms down. Let that exhale ride all the way out. Palm stays forward. Take a full body breath in. And release mouth or nose. Just take a moment and feel and observe. I'm going to do one more round. Okay, so you can also just stand in Tadasana, let the palms lay open, and just relax here for a moment. Or join us. Arms out. Try to have the wrist the height of the shoulders if you can. Really reaching out through the palms of the hands, all the way out through the joints of the fingers. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. or either inhale, exhale, or inhale, exhale, right? Just do what feels suitable for you and your body. It's a way that we really wake up the energy of the spine. Feel the energy through the arms, remembering that the arms are an extension of the heart. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach arms all the way up overhead, look up. And this time pull the hands together. And as you exhale, slowly bring the hands down to heart. Just feel for a moment. Full breath in and complete the breath all the way out. Feel this nice vertical alignment in the body from the feet all the way up through the pelvis, through the spine, through the crown of the head. Just feeling your plumb line here. And feel the peripheral hug in. So the outer body pulls into the inner body. And this brings a sense of stability and strength, but remembering to find that ease and softness. Good, and release the arms back down to Tadasana. We're going to start moving a little bit more here, moving into some sun salutations. So this morning in the sun salutation is totally optional, okay? Remember, everything is optional. But I'm going to guide you through a couple of salutations in ways where we're breathing, and through this breath, we're actually going to be, you could say it out loud if you're at home, right? Or you could just call it to yourself. We're going to move through the mantra. So please come to the top of the mat. So the inhale is loka. Exhale, samasta. Inhale, sukhino. Exhale, bhavantu. Push through the feet. Inhale, loka. Exhale, samasta. Inhale, sukhino. Exhale, bhavantu. Loka. Samasta. Sukhino. Bhavantu. Loka. Samasta. Sukhino. Bhavantu. 2 more at your own pace. Inhaling loka. Samasta. Sukhino. Bhavantu. Loka. Samasta. Sukhino. Bhavantu. Loka. Palms come together. Samasta. Sukhino. Bhavantu. Hands at heart. Just feel these words pulsing through every cell of your being, so that as we move together through this practice, it's a way that we initiate and call to this peace. The whole idea of mantra is to, in this repetitive way that we call to this chant, or the way that we say this chant, sing this chant, the repetition that allows us to really feel. So feel free through your practice this morning as we're here together, anytime that you want to pull that sweet mantra in. As we inhale, reach the arms up overhead, look up. As we exhale, we're going to take a bow, bending the knees if you need to, or straight legs. As you inhale, stretch your spine forward. As you exhale, please step your right knee back. Drop the right knee down. Finding the left knee right over the left ankle. Fingers interlace to the top of the left thigh. Draw the belly in and push the thigh away. The elbows might straighten. Lift the chin slightly, lift the nose slightly, look up. As we exhale, hands are going to come down to the front foot. Lift your back knee and simply step your right foot forward to meet your left. Take the inhale, stretch the spine. As you exhale, left knee back, drop left knee down. Right knee right over right ankle. Fingers interlace. Push thigh away, low belly pulls in. And very slowly start to lift the chin, the nose, the eyes. Hands down to the right foot, stepping the left foot forward. Take your inhale to stretch through the spine, bending the knees and take a fold in here. Shake the head a little. Even take your hands and let's come up into the neck and into the shoulders. There's a really good chance a lot of us are holding a lot of tension right now in the neck and the shoulders. Just feeling the weight of the world. So just feel it, unravel, unwind. Give yourself a good upper neck and upper back massage right here. And coming up into the cervical spine, all the way up into the occipital ridge. Just get in there and squeeze. Use your thumbs. Good. Let the hands release back down. Inhale, stretch the spine forward. Step the right knee back again. Dropping the right knee down. There's an isometric action of hugging in. Right, it's that peripheral moving in into the inner body. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Bring the left hand to the left hip for a moment. Reach your right arm up. Squeeze your left hip in and arc over to your left. You might have a blanket or an extra padding underneath your right knee. Really reach from your right knee all the way up through the right wrist. Arc back a little. And as you exhale, both hands come down to the front foot. Lift the back knee, and again, right foot steps forward. The exhalation steps the left knee back. Hug the legs in, reach the arms up. Right hand to the right hip, squeezing the right hip in, reach the left arm up, and as you exhale, leaning over to the right. Find that nice straight line through the right thigh as you lean over right. And both hands come down to the front foot. And then this time, we're going to step the right foot back into downward facing dog. So when you're downward facing dog, just take a moment here and establish a really nice foundation through your hands. Feel your fingers pushing down. And as the hands push down, just find a nice way to align your arms so you don't feel like you're crunching in your neck. Upper back feels broad and open. Navel pulls in, and the knees can bend as much as you need. Feel free to pedal your feet out a little bit here. And then anchor the tail down. Slowly roll your way forward into high plank. push the floor down. And then come to the knees, lower all the way down to earth. Take the arms out to the sides. Feel your legs here. So pick your right leg up and reach it back, drop it back down. Pick your left leg up, reach it back, drop it back down. Just a way to create some space in your low back. Good. And then from here, we're going to lift the legs, lift the chest, and then the arms. Palms can be facing forward or down, or somewhere in between. Be mindful of the weight of the head, so don't let your head drop. So pull the skull up. Feel softness in the neck. Maybe lift the arms a tiny bit higher. And release. Hands under the shoulders. Push into the earth. Come up onto all fours. Let the knees go a little wider apart. Take the right arm, reach it up to sky. And as you exhale, right arm's going to weave through the left knee and the left wrist. You might have to take a blanket or a towel and place under the skull here, right, if your head doesn't come easily to the earth. Move the hips to the right. Push the left hand down. Reach the right arm back up overhead. Let the eyes follow the thumb. And as you exhale, right hand down. Left arm reaches up to sky. Exhale, weave it through. Anything that you want to do with your top arm is fine. Just make sure that your neck is in agreement with it. Hip shift a little to the left. Maybe toes curl under. You can feel this possibly from your waistline all the way up into the upper back. Right hand down. Left arm reaches back out. And left hand down. Okay, please come down to your forearms. You can interlace your fingers here. Walk your knees in underneath your hips. And you're going to take your right leg, extend your right leg back. Really push the ball of the right foot down. Push your forearms and your wrists down. Try to keep the chest open here. And then extend your left leg back. So you're in forearm plank. Of course, you can come to the knees, or you keep the knees lifted. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your belly. Keep your heart pulling towards your hands. Drop down to the knees, to the thighs, to the belly. You can keep your hands here, point your toes, and just lift your heart, lift your chest, your chin. Bring the chin back to neutral, curl the toes back under. And as you push into the toes and to the knees, you slowly peel your thighs up, the hips up, the belly. And again, you can stay right here, or legs go to straight. You might join the shaking club. I'm in it. And drop your knees down, thighs down, pelvis down. Point the toes. Pull the heart through, look up. And one more. And of course, remember, as I said earlier, it's optional. If you want to skip it, skip it. Push the knees down. Listen to your low back here. As soon as you lift the knees, the low back takes a lot of the pose. So make sure that your low back can handle it if you lift your knees. And feel free on this one to kind of rock forward and back. And drop the knees, drop the thighs, pelvis, point toes, lift heart, look up. Bring the hands to the sides. Rise up into a cobra. And pull your hips back. Downward facing dog. And of course, child's pose is an open invitation. Just feeling again the energy pulse through the arms, the upper back, the chest, and ultimately into the heart. I want this practice to remind us, even when there's a lot of uncertainty in our world, that's a time for us to actually shine brighter. So that we beings, we remember it's that sweet divinity that flows through all of us. Look forward and walk your way to the top of your mat. You can hop or jump or float, however you want to get there. Stretch your spine, bend your knees and fold in. Stay in this fold, reach and grab your strap if you need it, or interlace your hands behind your back. Keep your thumbs pushing down into the sacrum. Okay, and the sacrum is what your spine inserts to. Okay, so now from here, pushing your thumbs down, pull your shoulder joints up to the sky. Relax your neck. You may stay right here. Or slowly start to reach your knuckles up to the sky. Now you're welcome to stay here. You might want to alternate, just moving side to side, bending one knee. So there's a little bit of rotation that's happening through the spine. Come back to center if there was movement. Release the hands to the low back. Push the heels down. Push the hands into the low back. And let your elbows pull you up to standing. Finding your way back into Tadasana. A few shoulder rolls here, up and back. Coming up the back, down the front. Good. Reach arms up overhead. And then let the arms open up a little bit here. Pull your ribs in. Lift your heart up, look up. Take the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers. Let the thumbs rest right at the occipital ridge here. You're going to sit down into a chair pose. And as you inhale, you're going to pull your elbows behind you. Let the skull rest into the back, into the hands. And as you exhale, you're going to squeeze your elbows in towards your forehead and round. So inhale. You could even stick the booty out a little bit more, so it's more of a back bend. And as you exhale, pull the elbows in. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pushing through the feet, this time open the elbows wide, reach back up, and bring the arms down by your sides. Interlace the hands behind the back, and pull the hands over to the right waist. Looks like this from the back. Okay? You might be down here, depending on what your shoulder allows, okay? Just take a moment here. Again, find your plumb line, find the center line of the body, that energetic line, that Sushumna line. Push down into the feet, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, the right ear is going to drop over to the right shoulder. The more you can keep the heels of your hands pushing together, the more you might feel all the way up into the left side of the neck, down to the shoulder possibly, and even up into the jawline. Keep the inner legs pulling towards one another. Feel free to let the chin lower and lift until you find a spot that feels like it needs a little bit of attention. Take 3 breaths. And then bring the head back up to center. Bring the knuckles back down, and then slowly take the hands over. You could even re-interlace the fingers, bring the other finger on top, and then hands to the left waist. Take a full breath, and as you exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Take notice if you start to sway or lean to your left. So try to keep even weight distributed through your feet. Let the chin lift and lower. And then find that place for you to hold for 3 breaths. Knuckles back down, top of the head, reaches back up to sky. Release the arms, take one nice big shoulder roll. Inhale, float arms up overhead. Open the arms again, just remembering just that radiance within. As you exhale, fold your way down. Inhale, stretch your spine. You're going to step the right leg back. This time we're going to stay off of the back knee. Feel the right inner thigh, right inner knee, moving up to the sky. And again, that isometric action of hugging in. Just feel here. Strong back leg. Pull the heart forward. Find length in the neck. Step the right foot forward. Exhale, step the left leg back. And again, left inner knee, left inner thigh. Feels like it's moving up to the sky as the outer left hip wraps in and down. Please step back again to high plank. From high plank, you're going to lower your way down. You can come to knees if you like. Lower all the way down. This time you're going to bring your arms by your sides. Bring your legs back in together. Pull the shoulder joints up. Bring the skull with you. And then lift your legs, your arms, your head. Start to lift the chest a little higher. You might even pull your pinky fingers in a little bit closer together. Imagine that your fingertips are reaching towards your heels. A lot of activation in the upper back. And then we're going to open out, arms open, legs open. So if immediately you feel pressure on your pubic bone, put a blanket under or a towel. Open and close. You can also have your feet on the ground and drag your feet. 2 more. Hands under shoulders. Push up to all fours. Walk the knees a little wider and drop the hips to the heels. Child's pose. Feel free to have your arms reaching dynamically out in front of you, or a little bit more passive, just having your arms down by your sides. Notice maybe if your circulation is starting to elevate a little bit, which is the whole idea. Working that heart muscle. Getting that fresh blood, that fresh oxygenated blood to pulse through the body. 2 more breaths. Push into the tops of the feet, into the hands, coming back up all fours. Walk your knees in again underneath your hips. Swing your left foot back and take your right leg out like so. So as though you were going to come into a Vasisthasana or side plank. Left wrist, left knee, right ankle, one nice line. Try not to have your wrist right under your shoulder, right? But walk your left hand out just a little bit so you've got a little angle in your arm. Draw the tail down, draw the belly in. Feel that refer all the way up to the heart. Reach your right arm overhead. So the right arm hugs towards the right side of the face. So as you inhale, you're going to roll your belly and your chest open. And as you exhale, drop your right armpit down. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Feel the movement coming from the waistline. The right hip stays open, so you're not moving from your hip. Good. And then reach your right arm up. You can stay right here. You're going to lift your right leg to about hip height. And then pointing your right toe, see if your right hand will reach back. You might have to pull your knee in to grab your foot and then take the leg back. Push down into the left hand, maybe look down. You can look forward or start to turn your gaze up as you move your right thigh bone back. And release. Right foot to the floor, right arm reaches overhead one more time. Look down, let the right hand come down, let the right knee come down, and bring the left foot back. Take a full inhale here, coming into cow, and as you exhale into cat. Swinging the right foot behind you, left foot out, right hand again, find that angle through the arm. You might have your back toes curled under. Find that nice line. Left arm reaches up overhead. Squeeze the arm towards the face. Exhale. Left armpit moves down to the floor. And just flowing with the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Coming back up. Left arm reaches. So again, you can stay right here or lift the back leg. Bend the knee. See if the left hand will reach back and find the top of the foot. Push down into the supporting hand. Pull the knee back, pull the heart open. Just visualize for a moment here these rays of light, these beams moving out of the heart, down to the arms. Release the left foot. Left arm overhead one more time, full stretch here. Left hand down, left knee down. Tabletop position. Inhale. Exhale. Roll toes, lift hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet out a little bit here. And then walking, hopping, floating, however you like to get to the top of your mat. Stretch the spine, bend the knees, and fold your way in. Push to the feet. And energetically reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Loka, Samasta, Sukino, Bhavantu. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings know peace. Be free of suffering. And may my thoughts and my actions allow that to be. Reach back up, look up. Exhale and fold in. Take an inhale, stretch the spine. And then please step your left leg back. Right knee right into a nice 90-degree. Let the left arm pull you up, warrior two. Just realized I don't have a clock anywhere. So hopefully I've done this enough that I can think about what 75 minutes is. Okay. Push down into the feet. Feel the spine nice and long. And then I'm going to bring your hands together into this, we call this Ganesha Mudra, where you literally take the left hand on top of the right hand and catch at the knuckles of the fingers. So the right thumb is pointing up, left thumb is down. And there's a gentle pulling of the fingers. And this is a really nice way to create some space in your wrist. So you can drop the hips a little lower if you like. And just feel again this activation in the upper back. Shoulders are soft. The arms are very activated here. And then we're going to see about taking the arms overhead and taking this over to the left. So you might even be able to get your right arm behind your head. Just make sure it doesn't push your head and your chest forward. So the skull is pushing into the wrist. And then lean over to the left. So the left hand is like a weight, the left elbow pulling down as the right arm opens up. And maybe sink a little deeper into the right hip. And then release that. Open the arms up. Let the left hand come down the back leg. And then from here, keep all that length in the side bodies. Let the right forearm drop down to the right thigh. Reach the left arm overhead. Keep the right hip squeezing in. You can look up, forward, or even look down. Then reach your left arm back up again. And wrap your left arm behind your back. So the forearm just slides or glides around the low back. You might come up a little bit and catch that interlace that we did earlier for the neck stretch to pull your left shoulder a little bit more back and then drop back down into the pose. Lots of toning in the abdominal wall, lifting through the sternum. Left shoulder head pulls back. Now some of you at home might want to go right into your bind. But no pressure, and remember everything is optional. Just stay right here if that's working for you. Good, and then release the left arm, reach it back up to sky, and let the left arm pull you back up. Yes, I know your right hip, right leg is really feeling a lot right now. And then windmill both hands back down to the right foot. Spin the left heel up to the sky. Narrow your stride a little bit here. Drop the left knee back down. Slide your left knee a little further back. And then start to pull the hips back to find any degree of straight in your right leg. You can sway a little side to side. Feel the sits bones pull back as the heart pulls forward. It's not about how far you go. It's about listening. Not pushing past your edge. Pushing past the edge diminishes our light. It restricts our breathing. And when our breath is restricted, our light is diminished. Slide your right heel back. Come back into the bend of the right knee. Lift the back knee. Walk the hands over to your left. Spin the left heel down. And now let the right toes line up to the left toes. So you're in a wide-legged straddle fold. So take your time here. I'm being a little OCD right now, trying to make sure I have the same amount from here to here. Right, so I'm gonna let that go. Take an inhale. Push down into the base of your feet. And of course, if you need to bend your knees here. I'm fine with straight legs as long as you're not pushing through the backs of the knees. To straighten your legs is a pulling up action. Exhale and bow. And then bring the hands to the low back. You can stay right here, or you're going to find that interlace again. Lifting the arms to the sky, folding the head, folding from the hips, letting the head drop. Remember, you can be right here. Just squeezing the elbows in. Place the hands back down to earth. Push to lift. And then you're going to slowly start to turn your left toes forward. Walk back over now to your left foot. Make sure you have a nice alignment here, heel to arch, and then let your right arm pull you up. Warrior two. Take a moment here. It's fine to move around a little bit in the pose so you can find the best alignment for your pelvis. I'm not a fan of hip squaring up in warrior two. So the right hip is very subtly going to come forward, and that's going to keep your left knee safer. Left knee right over the heel or a little behind. And again, just feel the love and compassion and the light that extends from the heart out through the arms, through the hands, the fingers. And then we're going to bring our hands back now. This time, reverse it. So the right thumb is up, left thumb is down, coming back into Ganesha Mudra. Pull, like you're trying to pull your fingers apart here, and just get that nice traction in your wrist. Upper back activates. And then we pull the hands overhead, possibly bring the head in front of the left forearm again without pulling forward here. And then the right arm slides down, left elbow up. You could even turn the gaze a little to the left. And then slowly release that. Right hand comes down the back leg. Left arm reaches up as you arc over to the right. And then left elbow comes down to left thigh. Right arm reaches overhead. And Piper's going to come and just clean herself right here on camera. Breathe. Keep pushing through the feet. Right arm reaches up. And this time we slide the right arm behind us. The forearm slides to the low back. And again, you may come up, interlace the fingers to pull your right arm a little bit more forward. Find maybe that catch to the thigh. And then forearm back down. Opening the right shoulder, keeping the belly toned. Left hip squeezing in. And of course, again here, if you did the bind on the first side, you might want to walk your left arm under, find the bind. But don't feel pressure to do that. And then release. Reach the right arm one more time. And then bring the hands down. Drop. You're going to walk your left foot over to the left. Drop your right knee down. And then find that nice stretch through the back of the left leg. You can have the back toes pointed or curled under. Let the hips rock a little side to side. There might be a really big bend in your knee. Remember, don't go too far. We do the practice to raise our frequency, to raise our vibration, again, not to diminish it. Slide the hips forward, left foot hits the floor, picking the right knee up, and then push off your right foot this time and come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Let the head release, maybe shake it out a little. And then step back to down dog. Let the inhalation bring you forward to your plank. And as you exhale, come to the knees if you like. Lower all the way down. Bring your legs together. This time we're going to bend the knees. And then I'm going to see if we can reach back and find our feet. If you can't find your feet here today, you can always just roll to one side and alternate. Okay, just getting one at a time. And if your knees don't like it at all, just come right back into this version. Okay? So hold, finding your feet. Take a moment here. Just notice for you if this is enough. Just holding to the tops of your feet. Feel that stretch to the upper chest, all the way through the tops of the quads, the thighs. If you want to go further, push the pelvis down, pull the heart forward, and then kick the feet into the hands. Try to pull the inner knees a little closer together. And as you lift the chest, make sure you bring the skull with you. Maybe rocking forward and back a little. And release. Bring your arms around, stack your forearms, and let your forehead rest. Please take 3 breaths here. The hands are going to come back up under the shoulders. Tops of the feet push into the floor. Pull the elbows back and in. Coming up, maybe you come up a little higher this time. Starting to lift your knees, coming up into full upward facing dog. Or you've got your knees down, your pelvis down. And cobra. Hips pull back, child's pose. And we're going to come up onto the knees. Keep the hands down. Walk your knees back up underneath your hips if they're wider. Trying to keep the thigh bones in a straight line. Walk the hands out and see if it's comfortable for you to come up onto the tips of your fingers, like you're tenting your hands or like a spider. So the idea here is we're going to drop the chest to the floor, but I don't want you to compress a lot in the spine. So you're not dropping and just collapsing into it. Right? But you're trying to keep some integrity here by keeping the ribs pulling in. And so as you drop down, you feel like you're lowering down, almost as though you were coming down through a plank pose. Right, so again, instead of letting the chest just drop, if we're really hypermobile, that's very easy for us to do. But I want you to keep your belly in, keep your ribs in, keep your chest in, and drop your forehead down towards the floor. It might not touch. Your head might have to hover a little bit here. Feel the inner elbows corkscrew up towards the sky. And slowly drop one hand down, the other hand down. Walk the hands back up underneath the shoulders. Just again, feel that energy, that sensation. The chest, the arms, the upper back. And then we're going to find a seat here. So, coming to seat. Okay. And then I'm going to take the hands behind us like so. So the fingertips are pointing towards your heels or out towards the outer edges of your sticking mat. The heels are the width of the hips, pushing down to heel, mounted big toe, mounted pinky toe. And just start to bend your elbows just a little bit here. Push into the first finger and thumbs, just like you would in downward facing dog. And start to lift your sternum. Tailbones anchoring down, elbows gently pulling in, sternum lifting, chin lifts slightly. Feel even the heels of the hands pushing down. Like the more you push down, the more you ground, and the more you find that just that foundational aspect, that foundational quality of love and compassion, and really feel that pull up into the heart. It's just one big beam beaming right out to the center of the chest. And release. Rock your shoulders a little. Okay, so you're going to come right back into that and hold that for a few breaths. Or if your upper back and shoulder joints will allow, you push down firmly into your feet and slowly start to peel the hips up away. Right, so trying to lift the hips to shoulder height if possible. And then maybe the head drops back, maybe it doesn't. Or if you got here and you're like, this does not work for me, then just drop your hips back down and come into this version. And slowly release. Take the hands in front of you for a minute. Interlace your fingers. And just do this nice wave. Good. Shake it out a little bit. Good. Give your wrists a little love. Okay. All right. And then we're going to come down onto our back. Come on down. Squeeze the knees into the chest. Let the hands cup the knees and make some nice big circles through the thighs, up into the hip joints. Drop your left foot to the floor, extend your right leg up to the sky, pull your right leg in just for a moment here. Crossing right ankle over top of left thigh. Pull left thigh into chest. You can hold behind the thigh, to the shin, to the knee. Feel free to rock your hips a little side to side. And see if you can get a little heavier on the left hip, the left pelvis. So you feel like your knees are moving just a little bit more over to your left. You can let your feet relax, or if you have any knee issues, reach through your heels. Using your arm muscles to pull your thigh in. And left foot comes to earth. Uncross the right foot. Take left leg up to sky. Hold wherever you can. Just pulling the leg in. Left ankle, top of right thigh. Pull the right leg in. Holding here, wherever you can. And again, find that gentle rocking of the hips. And get a little heavier over on the right side. So the knees move a little over to the right. And as you're here, just see if you can allow the collarbones to feel very soft while you're engaging the arms to pull the leg in a little closer. Right foot comes down to the floor, left foot to the floor. Feel that your feet are in nice alignment as best as you can. All 10 toes are forward. The heels are about the width, anywhere from inner hips to outer hips. Lean to the left, pull your right shoulder in. Lean to the right, pull your left shoulder in. You're trying to get your arms a little bit closer into the spine. Push down into the feet and slowly start to peel your hips up. You might just have your palms facing up. Some of you might just hold to the outer edge of your mat and start to shimmy your shoulder blades in a little bit more towards your spine. Feel the pose from the feet all the way up to the top of the head. And then pushing into the feet a little bit more, to the shoulders a little bit more, to the head, gently, and then start to lift your hips a little higher. From here, if you want to interlace your fingers underneath, it's perfectly fine. Pushing the outer edges of the wrist down. Imagine that you're squeezing a block between your inner knees and inner thighs. So there's an isometric action, but your knees and inner thighs don't move towards one another. It's just a way to stabilize. And lower your way down. Pull the shoulder blades back away from the spine a little bit so there's more of that neutral position through the upper back. Okay, at home and here we're going to do one more. And of course, for those of you who have a deeper practice, if you want to come into a full back bend, you're welcome to come into full wheel, placing the hands by the ears. Again, just notice for you what happens to your breath, to your attitude, to your energy, if you choose to do that. Push into the feet, slide the shoulder blades a little closer to the spine, arms closer to the spine, lift hips to sky, and find any position for you that feels good for your neck. The glutes are toned but not gripped. The lift is coming more from the sternum, drawing towards the chin, not chin to sternum. This is great for just stretching out the lungs, getting into the intercostals, and exhale, release. I was listening to a physician the other day talking about how relevant and how important it is, especially with this COVID-19, to know how to correctly breathe or to do breathing exercises right? So that you're really keeping the capacity of the lungs and the health and the energy of the lungs. Take the arms out to the sides. And again, you might have to draw the shoulder blades in a little bit more towards the spine. We're going to pull the knees into the chest, and as you exhale, let your knees drop over to the right for spinal twist. You can take your right hand and hold the legs down. There might be a big space here that you can see on me, so sometimes I just grab my shin. If your left shoulder is lifting, just back off a little bit. You want to try to have your left shoulder down on the ground, the left shoulder blade down. Push down into the right hip. Draw the navel in, slowly coming up. So we turn stabilizer muscles on, just bring us back up to center. Drop your feet back to the floor. Maybe the hips shift a little bit over to the right. Knees squeeze into the chest as you exhale. Knees drop left. And again, you don't want to be, you're not trying to be here, right? So if you're here, it's just information coming from your body. There's some tight fascia there, right? So lift your knees back up to let the right shoulder drop. Okay. The idea in this particular moment, focus on this pose, is to feel from the pecs, from the center of the sternum, all the way out through the right deltoid. If there's tightness in the low back or tightness in the hip, it's definitely going to pull your shoulder up. So place something under your bottom knee or between your knees to slowly get your right shoulder to drop back down. Maintain the fullness of the breath. A little bit more focus coming up into the chest cavity. Feeling this expansive energy move from the heart out through the arms. And then you're going to push down into your left hip, draw the navel in, and coming back up. Drop the feet to the floor. Now I know that at home we don't all have blocks, right? So if you have a very firm pillow or two that you'd like to place underneath your sacrum, okay, or if you have a block, you'll place the block right underneath the hips, okay? Right where you feel the spine meets the low back, so that's the sacrum. You should feel like you can really rest heavy onto the block. So you could stay right here, keeping the shoulder blades tucked into the spine. It's feeling this nice passive way, this restorative way of coming into bridge. Or you slowly start to take your legs up to the sky, coming into waterfall pose. If you're more advanced in your practice and you want to come into a shoulder stand, by all means, you're welcome to. But as I've said through the practice, just be very mindful of how the way that we position our body, the way that we come into these poses, how it affects your breathing. there are some poses that no matter how advanced we are, there's just a compression right into the lungs, and so it'll feel a little bit more hard to breathe. But I'm trying to pay attention to the rhythm. If it feels fragmented, if it feels stuck. We want it silky and smooth as best as we can. Just like life, we want it silky and smooth. And so a lot of us are feeling very uprooted right now, which is very legit in our times today. So we use this practice in the breath to just recalibrate, come into our own personal resources to get through this crazy time. Let's let the feet come back down. Lift the hips away from the block. Slide the block out of the way. Come back down to earth. If you want to do a little windshield wiper here, or even sometimes we'd like to do a baby pose to set us up for coming into Shavasana. So whatever for you. It's a nice preparatory pose to get you to lay your body out. You might use your blanket or whatever you have. You could even take your mat to a piece of furniture and take your legs up the wall, or even onto a chair or sofa, whatever you have at home. And then take up some space, so let your legs lay out nice and wide, let your arms lay nice and wide. And if you're not comfortable lying on your back, then roll to your side. Make sure you're comfortable for Shavasana. Let's start today at the top of the head. Just feeling the skull relax. The frontal lobe of the brain softens. Inner corners of the eyes heavy. It is helpful if you have something to place over your eyes. It's a signal to the nervous system, and it really invites parasympathetic in. And feeling the cheekbones relax. The tongue feels heavy. Let a little space create between your teeth so that your jaw is soft. Feel the throat soften along with the sides of the neck as they meet the collarbones. Collarbones feel relaxed, taking that all the way down through each arm. The center of the palms are heavy. The fingers naturally curl towards the heels of the hands. And then as we stop and pause just for a moment right at the center of the chest, right at the heart center, and this softening that we're experiencing through the chest and the sternum, down to the arms and the upper back, just tap into that radiance of your heart. The power of the heart. The beaming of the heart. Coming down into the belly, slowly start to come back. Just moving whatever way feels natural for you. And if you choose to take the arms overhead, just notice if you have a little bit more range of motion through the shoulder joints, through the upper back. The exhalation is going to pull the knees into the chest. You can curl into a tight ball. And either roll to your right side or rock right up to a seat. Find your blanket or towel to sit on. Oh, and I'm late. Sorry. If you're still with me. Just take a moment and sit. In any comfortable position for you. Let the hands come to heart. The anchoring through the pelvis and the tail. The length through the spine. All the way through the crown of the head. Just feel this gratitude coming from your body. Take the time to nourish and fortify, replenish, de-stress. Instead of ending with our regular Om Shanti 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 this morning, we'll repeat the mantra Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. May love and light guide our way today and every day. Namaste. Thank you.